Hey guys, what's up? This is Pansar Dragon, and today we'll be doing the top 5 best junglers for solo queue. So in patch 5.3, there actually were some nerfs to some of the top 5 junglers, and that means just a little tweaking to the tier list a bit, but it's relatively going to be the same champions, of course. And of course, what champions I see being banned or picked in solo queue a lot. And so, with all that being said, let's get started.
Go select.
Alright, so at number 5 we do have Rek'Sai. So Rek'Sai has gone through some nerfs where her base damage was way lower than it was on release. And on release, her Q did like 275 damage every 4 seconds AoE to the targets around her. On top of that, she's very tanky with her passive, as it does regen a lot of health, especially if you do have that Spirit Visage. So it can be very hard to kill her if she is in these prolonged fights, and she can build up her passive and sustain this way. She still also has great peel with her W, which knocks people up for a second. And in an early game, she can farm a pretty good amount with the tunnels in her jungle, and also using the tunnels to plot out your escape is pretty good too. The only thing that kind of sucks about her is that her base damage just got nerfed, but on release she was pretty OP, so be happy that she kind of got toned down a bit. Next up at number 4 we do have Fiddlesticks. So Fiddlesticks in this patch got a tether nerf, which kind of means that his drain does 1 or 2 less ticks of damage when he's draining somebody in a gank. Since of course people will run away when they're getting ganked by Fiddlesticks. But that does not mean he's absolute crap right now, since it was only 50 range. The thing is, he still has high sustain for the jungle, so he does not need to buy pots, and he still has a silence on his E, which is AoE of course, and he does have that fear to lock people down. But most importantly, he still has his ultimate, which can be game changing and turn teamfights around. If you're ahead and you have Zhonya's, you can start tower diving enemies and zoning and taking out the squishies really fast. If you're behind, of course, maybe that Fiddlesticks ultimate will turn around the teamfight and get you back into the game. Of course, the only thing that really counters Fiddlesticks is if you always have vision of where he is at all times. Or of course if you have knockbacks who can knock him away. But other than that, with his game changing ultimate, he's still a good pick for solo queue. Next up at number 3 we do have Vi. So Vi right now is pretty strong because she has really good ganks with her Q and R. She can also pull off some level 3 dragons with her W. And her clears are pretty good since she does have that blast shield and pretty good damage to take out the creeps fast. Now, the best thing about Vi is not really her early game, but the ability to lock enemies down. So if you have a 10-0 Xerath on the enemy team, then you and another person will try and take him out and lock him down before he casts any spells and gets his poke off. So she's a pretty good anti-carry in that sense, and she has great initiation, and if she is doing well in the game and needs to carry the game, she can also go Triforce and do a lot of damage. Next up at number 2 is going to be Pantheon. So again, Pantheon is a really good duelist. He's really good in the early game because he can do 2v2s a lot with his laners. His ganks are really simple and easy to do. His damage output is extremely high in the early game and mid game, especially once you get your Brutalizer and your Warrior enchantment. But he does lack in the clearing department where he has to do his camps. But the best part about Pantheon is his semi-global ultimate. Most likely every time he ults, he will land a kill onto somebody. And so if the enemy does not know where exactly you are, it's really hard for the enemy to tell if they're getting ganked or not. He can easily snowball the game this way and get a lot of kills in the early game. If he is snowballing, he can also build a bit offensive and build a lot of damage, so that he can take out squishies with one quick combo. And unlike Twisted Fate, his ultimate is a really good initiation, since it does have a high magic base damage at the center, and it does slow everyone in the circle who are hit by it by 50% for 1 second. So it is really good for breaking the enemy's formation up and kind of causing chaos in their backline. And like the only con about Pantheon is his ability to kind of fall off in the late game and not do as much damage. Or if there's no fall up when he initiates, then of course he's just going to get focused by the enemy team and then probably explode if he's not tanky enough. Other than that, it's pretty easy to get kills around the map with his ultimate. And at number 1 of course is going to be Jarvan. So like I said before, he's the king of Season 4, and he's probably going to be the king of Season 5 just because of what he can do. So what exactly can he do? Well, he has a lot of CC with his EQ combo. He's pretty tanky with the armor coming from his E and of course the shield coming from his W. His base damage is super strong with his ultimate and his Q and his passive, and he has great initiation / catch to get onto enemies so that his team can wail on whoever is in the pit. If he needs to get out of the pit so he doesn't take any damage, he can always EQ or flash out, and especially against champions who don't have any escapes or dashes, and so they're going to be trapped unless they have flash. Adding onto that, he can initiate from half a screen away with his EQ and then using his R on someone, so that is pretty good too, and since he has all this utility, he's good even if you are behind, so he is pretty consistent in that sense. As for his clears, it's pretty good since he does have his shield coming from his W and he has the armor coming from his E, and yeah, he's just really good. The only flaw I can find about Jarvan is that sometimes he can miss his EQ, and that could be crucial for a gank, but other than that, he's very good at the moment. Now I do want to talk about Nidalee and why she's not on the tier list. I do feel like she's very powerful in the early game and mid game, but she kind of just falls off late game, and she's incredibly snowball reliant, as if she does do bad in the early game, she's basically useless and doesn't really provide any utility other than heals. She also got a bug fix where her Cougar cooldowns weren't resetting properly when she procced her passive, so it does hurt her early game clears a bit. But she definitely is a really strong jungler in the right hands if you can hit those spears, counter jungle the enemy a bit. She's pretty good and can snowball the game really easily. Oh yeah, and her clears become really good once she gets some AP and level 6. But definitely she's a really good jungler for solo queue if you know how to play her. Hey guys, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy this video, check out some other tier lists up there. You probably will like it. As you can see, there's an 80 carry tier list for you guys, for attached 5.3 of course, mid laners too, and so as top laners. Now, if you guys want to help me and support my channel, all you have to do is subscribe right there. Every subscribe does count, and we want to get to 100,000 of course, so hopefully we can get there. And again, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.